Am I the a-hole for wanting to take care of my best friend's children after she passed away? My best friend passed away unexpectedly 9 months ago. It was not something that I ever thought would happen. She left behind 3 children, 8 male, 4 female, and 1 female. My husband and I were written to be her child's godparents. We have never wanted children of our own and do not have any, but we accepted the role of being godparents because we figured that it's just a formality. I think that most people kind of figure that whenever they're asked. I imagine that anybody who is asked to be a godparent doesn't think of this situation. Like, normally you just say yes because you're excited and you care about the kid. And that's not what, went through my mind in that situation. I was just immediately like, oh my god, yes, I want to be in the child's life all the time and just be seen as a godparent, So, plus my best friend did not have many other people she could rely on. When she passed, her children were left without a mom or dad. The courts appointed her brother to be their guardian, but he struggled a lot because he already had 3 children to care for on his own. After some time, he called me and said that he was going to transfer legal guardianship of the children to me per my best friend's wishes. I told him I wasn't sure if I should or could be a parent to them. He said I should give it a try for a little while and see if it's fine. He said my husband and I could probably provide a better home for them than he could at the moment. I was already very close to the children at this point, so I agreed. My husband was not as close to them and was reluctant at first. He said he wasn't sure if he could deal with the household size doubling overnight, but eventually he agreed to try it out. The issue is that in the months since we've taken care of the kids, I have developed a strong bond with them, but my husband has not. I never thought in my entire life that I would want children, and I am still not completely sure if I'd ever want biological children of my own. But I know that I want to keep being a parent to these kids specifically, and that I'd be heartbroken if they left. My husband has more or less tried his best to deal with them, but it's just not working for him. He sees children as a chore and hasn't developed a strong emotional connection with them like I have. When my best friend's brother asked if he should start the paperwork to make me the official guardian, I had to give him a rain check. I want the children. My husband does not. He said he's willing to take care of them on weekends or something, but not be their permanent guardian. He said keeping the children would violate a pretty big part of our marriage, considering he has never wanted children and has even gotten a vasectomy to prevent them. I am torn. I love these children, but I cannot think about sacrificing my husband either. This one is really hard. I can't imagine going through something like this. I already have kids. I never wanted kids, but once I had my own kids, that was a different story. But, so if I think about it in the way of, if, like, my sister, I've always said, is, probably first in line to take care of my kids if somehow, some way, my husband and I passed. And if this same situation happened to her, I would 100% want her to take care of my children because that's what I want. She's the closest person I trust. But if she was in a relationship and that person didn't want them, I also wouldn't want her to give that up. I think at the end of the day, this decision, no matter which way you go, is going to be difficult. Usually I feel like I can always look at a situation and just, see the end and be like, okay, this is what makes the most sense. But this situation right here, it's so hard because children grow up and, form their own families and all of those things. So, I've always thought that putting your spouse before your kids is a good way to live your life, because if you're focused on your relationship with them, it makes you better parents overall. And plus, when your kids leave, you still love the person that you married, right? But in this situation, it's hard because these kids have already went through something extremely traumatic, and they were placed with their uncle, and then then it didn't work out, so now they were placed with this best friend, and so their lives are just already being uprooted numerous times. And so at the same time, my heart wants to say she needs to keep the children so that they have a better outcome in life and so that they know that they're loved. And chances are, if they go into the system, they will be split up. They will not be, kept together whatsoever. So, yeah, reading this was really hard. This was definitely one that I don't know what the right answer is. I think that they just need to sit down and really think about what it is they want in life. No matter what the original poster chooses, I don't think she will ever be 100% in on whatever decision she makes. Because if she chooses the husband, she's going to probably live with the guilt of not helping take care of those kids, being that she's the godparent to her best friend, and that she actually really does enjoy these kids now and, probably sees her best friend in them. So, she'll live with that guilt. But if she chooses the kids over her husband, she'll wonder about what life they could have had. I don't think there's not a simple answer to this. I really think that whatever the decision is, it's going to affect everyone. And I would not wish this type of decision on anyone. So what do you guys think? How do you feel like you would handle this situation? What would you want for, if you have kids and your best friend was put in this type of situation, what would you want for them? Because again, like I said, I wouldn't want to ruin a relationship for my sister or whoever takes care of my kids. I want them to be happy, but at the same time, kids are, it's not the kids' fault that this happened, and they need to be protected too. So tell me what you think. I would love to hear it because I'm really torn on this. Like I said, I couldn't imagine having to make this decision really at all.